Meeting for Thursday, February 15th, 2024. It is 6 p.m. Can I please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. First thing on the agenda is the Fire Department Monthly Report. Chief, you're up.
Good evening, everybody. Adam LaVoy, Fire Chief. I appreciate you putting me on the beginning of the agenda, so thank you for that. For January 2024, we responded to 67 calls throughout the month that ranged in categories from motor vehicle accidents 14, medical assist 29, activated alarms 5, carbon monoxide 2, investigations 1, hazardous materials 1, illegal burns 2, were canceled en route 3 times, service calls 4, mutual aid 1, good intent 1, gas emergency 2 calls, cooking fire incident 1 call, and 1 vehicle fire. Warren EMS responded to 62 calls in January of 2024, and 9 ALS intercepts were required. We conducted 3 smoke and carbon monoxide inspections, 1 oil burner inspection, and 4 liquid propane inspections throughout the month. Our EMS personnel trained on ELS, BLS interface skills that included IV bag use and procedures and medication administration. Warren Fire personnel held a unique drill that incorporated both truck equipment, locations, and gear races, which was kind of a morale booster we do every once in a while. It's kind of a fun competition amongst the firefighters to see who can find the equipment fastest, put things together fastest, and those kind of things. So it's kind of fun to do those things every once in a while, especially in the winter months when everybody's kind of stuck in at home all the time. So in terms of the budget, continue to watch that closely. I do believe there will be a shortage in the ambulance billing line item. We did talk about this once before. That's like similar to ALS. That's kind of out of my control. It all depends on how many calls that we do and how many calls are actually billed out by the billing company. So right now, I believe the line item will last until May. I'll probably have to do a small transfer or something like that of a couple $1,000s to be able to cover that. But that line item specifically pays our billing company which they retain a percentage of the amount of calls they actually bill out. So the higher the call volume and the more calls we go on, the more calls they're billing out, and the numbers slightly go up. So we've adjusted that number a couple times in the last couple fiscal years. It's just getting a little bit higher nowadays. This next coming fiscal year 25, I've adjusted that a little bit more, so hopefully we don't run into that problem. But that billing and that ALS line item are kind of tied together because it's just dependent on how many calls we actually do. So. Okay. You have any questions?
What's a good intent call?
So that's something that somebody, it could be a multitude of things. All of these categories here are what's called either MEFRs or NFRs reports, meaning that the state and the federal government mandate what categories go in there, and certain calls can fall under certain things. So it can mean a bunch of things, but normally a good intent is somebody that calls something in thinking it's something emergent, and then we get there and it's not. It's something that, it could be. For instance, one time I got called for smoke coming from one of the buildings at Wrights, and it turned out to be a wind whipping up and pushing water mist off of it, and it looked like it was like white smoke. So it was a good intent call. The person had good intentions of making sure that there was no emergency and everything, but it was actually a false alarm. That's basically what that is. But there could be a few different categories that could fall under, but it's basically someone had the best intentions in the world to make sure that there wasn't an emergency, and we turned out it wasn't anything like that. So.
Okay. And then recently, you just had somebody get hurt?
Yes, so unfortunately, one of my full-time employees, we've actually had quite a bit going on lately. I have 3 employees that are just started the Mass Fire Academy this last Monday, and unfortunately, I had a full-time firefighter that was injured while at an incident in another community. So it wasn't an injury that we incurred here, but unfortunately, he is going to be out for 3 to 4 months, which is going to be very tough on us to have to cover those shifts, and it's going to require a lot of overtime and other things that we're going to have to address down the road. I've spoken to Jim about that and the finance committee about possibly having to go for some overtime and everything to cover this, but it's going to put us down quite a bit. Fortunately, he's okay, but he's had to have surgery, which he did have yesterday, and it is about a 3 or 4 month recovery time before he's able to come back to work full time. So You know, that is, you know, very tough for him, you know, and he's obviously very upset that that happened, and, you know, he wants to work and wants to be back, and hopefully everything heals correctly, and that's where we're at, but, you know, it could have been worse, you know, at least it, you know, it did happen on a fire call, so those are during a structure fire, so those are always, can be scary incidents. You never know what's gonna happen on them, but fortunately, the injury, you know, is not life-threatening in any way, and he's already had corrective surgery to deal with it, and hopefully we'll see him back in 3 to 4 months.
Okay, but he's gonna be doing okay.
Yes, thank goodness, yes.
Do you have any questions?
Yes, what's a service call?
So a service call could be something like, hey, my smoke detector batteries are dead, and I think it's, you know, a lot of times if we go, you know, to an elderly person's home that may need assistance changing out batteries or something like that, and we think something, it's not an emergency, but, you know, I really could use some help putting my smoke detector back up. You know, going to look at, you know, a potential issue with, you know, someone that has a concern with a piece of appliance in their house or something and just want us to check it out. It's something that we go on as a service, you know, as basically a community service call.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Chief.
You're welcome.
Thank you, good job. Moving on, discussion and acceptance of the FY '23 firefighter grant. Anticipated vote. Okay, Chief, you're up again.
Yeah, so this is very exciting. It's always great to get grants. You know, they don't come around a whole lot, but this is one that we've been lucky enough to get for the last 3 years in a row. This is money that has been put aside by the Commonwealth specifically to enhance firefighter safety. It's a very competitive grant because it is dependent on a rating system. Some grants that you put in or some types of equipment that are funded under these grants may have a higher threshold of grading than some others. The 2 pieces of equipment that we put in for is an electric or a battery-powered exhaust fan. This is a fan that we commonly use. We have 2 of them right now. One of them is electric and it's corded, and the other one is gasoline-powered. These fans are used specifically to exhaust the bad stuff out of people's homes. They have carbon monoxide in their house, their oil burner or their propane heater or something is malfunctioning, their house is filling with carbon monoxide. We use these fans to exhaust all that bad stuff out of the house, make it a clean environment so they can go back in safely. The problem is right now, you know, the electric one that we have is fantastic. It's a really nice piece of equipment. It's probably about 8 to 10 years old, but you have to run cords to it all the time. Either use the power from the person's house or it has to be off the truck. And there's multiple points of failure with that where, you know, if there's an issue with the cord, if there's an issue with the generator on the truck, if there's no power to the home and for some reason you can't get it any other way, that could be a problem. The gasoline one is kind of antiquated. Those are the ones that used to be in service in almost all towns. We still have one, but the problem with those is that they have exhaust, and they exhaust carbon monoxide and everything else because it's a gasoline-powered engine. So it's never the cleanest thing, and it can actually put more carbon monoxide in there depending on what you're trying to do and the way the wind's blowing and everything like that. So the new technology, the newest technology out there is all battery equipment. We all know that. Everything, all power tools, everything is going the battery way. And this particular fan is super lightweight. It comes with wheels on it. It comes with a little fold-out handle on it so you can move it anywhere you want to. A couple of DeWalt batteries go in there. It'll last for 45 minutes to an hour at a time. Charge them back up. There's no exhaust. It's easy. It's portable. There's no cords running hundreds of feet towards someone's house in a long driveway or something. We bring it right to the doorway. We do what we need to do with it, and we put it back on the truck. So this is a pretty expensive piece of equipment. They run anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 for these things. You know, they run with the super 40-volt batteries on them. So, you know, one of the towns next to us has one that they got off the same grant last year, and I thought it was a great piece of equipment. I demoed it ourselves. We actually still have a demo at the station right now that we've been playing with for the last month or so. They're really, you know, top-notch technology. So we were fortunate enough to get one of these off that grant, as well as what we call a blitz fire gun. This is a monitored nozzle that goes on the end of a large 2.5-inch hose. It's basically for large fires, and specifically for fires that we don't want firefighters near. A railroad, you know, car, something that could be hazardous in any way, you know, a barn full of ammunition, something that's a problem that could be a danger for a firefighter. We can set this up. It does its own thing. It's weighted. It kind of straps itself to the ground, and this thing does its own little thing. So we don't have to put that firefighter sitting on that nozzle like we normally would have to do. So it's also a really nice piece of equipment. We scored high enough where we got the exact amount of money, in the top amount of money that we were looking for. On this, it's all based on population, so everything's scored out perfectly, and I have to give all the credit to Kyle Slajewski, our public information officer. He has spearheaded this particular grant for a couple of years now. We work in conjunction with each other, and he's done a ton of legwork on that. We get, quotes and everything like that, so we work together really well, and he's done a ton of work, and he's just a great all-around person and helps us out in so many different capacities, as Jim can attest to and stuff. So we were fortunate enough to get this, and this is a 100% reimbursable grant. So the town puts out the money first, and the state reimburses everything. So it's at zero cost to the taxpayer, so that's fantastic. So we're accepting this grant tonight. We've already got it. We just need to sign it. Once it's signed, I can then submit it to the state. Once it comes back signed on their end, we can purchase the equipment and move forward with it.
Okay. Very good. So it's a total of $10,224 awarded.
I believe that's
Yep.
somewhere in the amount. Yep.
Very good. Awesome. Kyle's doing a great job.
Yeah, we're doing, we're working on, I just submitted my SAFE grant, which is a standard grant we use for the kids, that we get supplies and we hand out all that stuff. So that's gone through. I expect that to be awarded. It usually is every year, so that'll come in the next few months. And then I'm in the process of submitting a grant to what's called the Assistance to Firefighters Grant. This is the grant that we got more than half of the funding for our Engine 4 not long ago for. So this is the new round of that. I'm submitting a grant for that. And now that we started capital planning again, one of my first projects on capital planning is an entire replacement for all of our hose and appliances for the trucks. They're all aging, they're 20+ years old. We have some 4-inch supply hose that has non-locking couplings, which are always dangerous. If the pressure changes and they spin, they can come apart and smash somebody. So we're looking to replace all of that. That's my main priority for our capital planning. It'll replace all the hose on the entire department, as well as all the appliances to go with it, the Ys and what we call the Siamese gates and the gates on the truck where the water comes in and out. So we'll replace everything. It's about $110,000 to do all of that. Because it's very expensive. Even a 100-foot length of hose is almost $1,000 nowadays for a 4-inch supply hose. So it's a lot of money. But the good thing is I'm applying for a grant through the AFG to also replace that stuff all outright. So best case scenario, we get a grant for it and the town doesn't pay for it. It doesn't come out of capital planning or any of that. So, I figured it was better to put it on capital planning and also apply for the grant. And if we get it, all the better.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very good. Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you have any questions, sir?
You're a wonderful person, Chief.
Thank you.
You are the best fire chief I ever seen. And this town is so lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you, Derek. Appreciate that. But no, we're always trying to find ways to not put it on the taxpayers' back if there's grants available and stuff. And like I said, this particular grant we're talking about tonight has been we were very nervous that when we had heard that there were some monies touched and taken back from the state and, to deal with other things, and we were waiting in the wings to hear if this was one of them that they grabbed, because, this has been a big one, huge for us, and if we lost the firefighter safety grant, we lose the SAFE grant. That's what these departments rely on every single year. So fortunately, they didn't touch them, and they left the funding in place, and we were able to move ahead with it, so.
And the mustache looks very good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Does have the best mustache in the building.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. No questions?
No.
No motion?
Yeah, okay, so this says FY23 firefighter grant?
Yeah, usually these grants are like a year behind. It depends on the grant, but they're always like a year behind from where we actually are. I mean, that's a common thing.
Because it says on the letter, FY24.
On the letter for,
From the governor.
oh, okay, all right, maybe it's under it could be 24. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be 24. like I said, sometimes these grants fall a year behind and some of them are current. It all depends on which one it is.
Okay.
I would say then 20, it should be 24, I'm sorry, because the last one we did was 23. Yes, it should be FY '24, if you could read it as such.
All right, so I'll make a motion to accept the FY '24 firefighter grant.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Chief,
Thank you very
does
much.
David sign both of these?
That depend, I mean, last time, I believe, it's up to the board. I think last time they gave Jim permission to sign on behalf of the board. I think that's how it worked, but that's up to the board. If the
Because
chairman would like to
This
sign
says Jim
it.
Farrar, but this just says the town, so I didn't
So
know.
just, let's do the motion and give Jim the
Oh,
authority to sign.
you wanna just sign it now and you don't have to worry about it?
Then
Well, he's
it's
already
separate
got the-
If I remember correctly, what happened last year was actually Tammy signed it as the procurement officer, and we actually had to draft a letter, you had to draft a letter stating that she was the procurement officer for the town, because it wasn't the town that actually signed it, so it's probably better that we just have someone from the town. make sure
I'll
that
sign it.
Sign it.
gets
Yeah,
done.
just, yeah.
Chief, can you just make sure that, Madeline and Dawn get copies
Sure.
of this?
Yep.
So that they can set up the account
Sure.
this year? Thank you.
If you just wanna make a copy, I'll get it.
Yeah, that's fine, I'll step out and do that real quick. Thank you very much. I'll make a couple of copies for you to give to them. Do you want me to put them in their box or give them directly to
You
you?
can just put it in the box.
All right, let me just take care of that now. Thank you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you, Chief. Thanks.
All right. Discussion and acceptance of the St. Stanislaus Society of West Warren change of officers and management. Anticipated vote. Okay.
Okay, so we, a little while ago, we went ahead and voted for the manager.
Mhm.
When he sent the paperwork in, they didn't have the correct officers, so they voided all of that. So I went back to St. Stan's and says I have to have correct officers. So this is all the paperwork that they need for ABCC to do the change of officers and manager.
Okay, who filled out this?
I did.
You spelled second floor wrong.
Oh, all right, I'll fix that.
And so where are the officers then? Because this says manager Tade Baldwin, but there's
Right.
nothing about the officers?
So you have two different forms. You have the form for the officers and the form for the managers.
'Cause we only got
We
one.
got one.
I know, yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to copy all of this, so I didn't copy all of it.
I would just pass it around. So is this, which is this one?
That is for the officers.
Oh, I see, okay. Yeah, you want to copy of this.
That's what I figured.
Do you want to look?
And then this is for the manager. Which is the same paperwork as last time, just somebody else had to sign it.
Yeah, okay, that's probably fine.
And then you're just gonna correct this form, right?
I will. And have you sign right after.
Ready to sign?
Any questions? Do you have any questions?
No.
Anything?
No, sir.
Anything, Mr. Farrell?
No.
No motion?
Make a motion to accept the change of officers and manager for St. Stanislaus Society of West Warren.
Second, all in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, next thing on the agenda, Police Department monthly report. Chief, you're up.
That's me. Right. For the month of January, we logged 1,852 calls, investigated 11 felonies, had 62 incident reports, 3 on-view arrests, 4 warrant arrests, 16 summon arrests for a total of 23, 3 protective custodies, 98 motor vehicle stops, and 52 citations. One thing that I'm very happy about is if you notice this mileage,
Yeah.
we're in a very good shape right now. My 18 years here, we've never had anything like that.
Yeah, they're all below 70,000.
Yep.
You got one D785 at 68,793 miles.
Yep, so they're in very good shape, which is very nice.
Yeah.
I've always been used to having things in the 160 range, so that's very nice.
That's why we got a capital improvement plan now.
That's right, we're in a good
Make sure you start cycling them out.
Good
You get- You're in a
space to
good
start doing
position.
that. Yep.
Now it's up to you to keep
keep it that way.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this month, I attended the Chief's Legal Updates in Southbridge. This is a required class for a yearly in-service. And then on the 9th, I attended a class put on by our insurance carrier, Maya. This class was on police mental health, and it also, Jim always pushes these, which is very good. It's a credit for our premium.
Yes.
On the 10th, I attended our monthly school safety committee meeting. We set up training for the 7th graders as well as set a date for an upcoming drill, which was so happens to be during the snowstorm that was canceled. Also on the 10th, the department took delivery of its new police cruiser. The 2023 Police Interceptor replaces the 2020 that had 106,000 miles on it. This is the last year. We got a good deal on it. We were able to take all the equipment that was on the old one and it flipped over. So normally it would cost about $17,000 to $18,000 extra to upfit a police cruiser, and it only cost us, I think, $6,000. Because it was just, everything
But
was able to
everything
flip.
going forward now, we're gonna have to buy all new
So
equipment.
2020, yeah, the new ones coming out are gonna be, they change them just a little bit, so you can't reuse things after a few years.
Of course they do.
Yeah, the light bars don't fit, the center consoles don't fit, so I think they do that on purpose.
No.
Yeah, right? On the 13th, I applied for the state's Medi grant. That grant is the one I try and get every year. It just gives me a little bit of money to help with the destruction of the prescription drugs, that box that we have at the station. So if anyone has drugs, prescription drugs they want to get out, don't flush them down your toilet. You can bring them to us. We put them into it looks like a big mailbox. It's locked. It goes in there. And then the DEA periodically through the year, they have dates where we meet them and they take that for destruction. So that for the officers, 2 people have to go. So that helps pay for that. Then on the 22nd, Officer Warren and I held a class with the 7th graders. This class was on the safety and ALICE protocols for our lockdown drills. On the 26th, the entire department went through the CPR and first aid certification. And then on the 29th, I met with the town's town administrator, Jim Ferrer, to go over the police department's upcoming FY25 budget. And then on the week of the 29th, that was the last week for Officer Paul Sujan, who left us to go to Rutland. And that's it.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I want to suggest for that next time we have the police department before the fire department. You so nice.
I like that suggestion.
Don't we save the best for last?
Ooh, wait a minute.
We know that, but.
I don't have a cool mustache.
No.
But your haircut's nice.
It's easy to take care of.
All right, you guys have no questions or anything? Thank you very much, Chief. Good job. You know, we were notified that, and we have it later on here.
I think it's the next one.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have Detective Nail.
So I'll just go to that since
Yeah.
we're done with your report. The next thing we have is the acknowledgement of the resignations of police officers Brad Merkel and Madison Nail, effective February 23rd, 2024.
So Detective Nail, she's leaving us to go to Southbridge. She's looking to, obviously Southbridge has a lot of opportunity. She gave us 4.5 years, which was great. And she wants to be able to move up. So she's going to Southbridge. We're gonna miss her. And then
She's done a lot for our community. She's been
She
a big
was- yeah.
part.
She was
and-
always there with me in the toy drives and
Yeah, I know, you know, my wife Tammy absolutely loved her with all the animal calls because she would always help her out with those.
yep,
And,
the
you
little
know,
hot dogs that would decide after.
cared about them. Anytime there was like, you know, vicious dog calls and stuff like that, she was there for you and, you know.
I was there for that.
Protected you from the little wiener dog.
Vicious.
So anyways, you know, losing them both, you know, it's sad to see, and, you know, wish we could keep them, you know. But people move on in their career, and Warren's a small town, and
We're,
we can't offer the big money that some of these cities offer, and,
I tell you, a lot of people that leave here and they go to the bigger places, I've always heard when they come see me again that the other departments saying how well they do and how well they're trained and what they deal with. So we deal with a lot here for a little town. Actually, Paul Sujan stopped by today and talked to me, and he said the same thing, that they were like, wow, you dealt with a lot over there.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, we have. So the only good thing is that we did interviews also. We actually got 3 very good, very good candidates.
So we're filling all 3 positions right away.
Yep, so
Great.
2, we already have 1 started, and then 2 are gonna come in front, well, we're gonna put them on the next agenda.
Very good. Yeah,
Next
let's get them in.
meeting.
You know, we don't want you to be, I don't want you to be making up all that time with overtime and, you know, burning out the rest of your people.
We don't have many bodies to go.
No. So, you know, people gotta understand, you got 8 guys total on a department, you just lost 3 of
3.
them. So,
Yep. So the
you know,
3 we have.
that's almost half your department
Right.
you just lost in 1 month.
Well, if we had to put 3 through the academy,
Oh my God.
we got lucky that the 3 that, they're all experienced. So,
Very good. Do you have any questions?
No.
I heard there's a spell that everybody who goes to Southbridge comes back.
we'll see.
Well, that was Sturbridge.
Sturbridge?
Yeah.
It's in the south.
Good.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
You gotta understand, you know, these guys go to these different towns.
Money
Yeah,
talks.
they're gonna get more money, but they're gonna be working,
Oh, yeah,
you know, and,
Well, that doesn't mean that they don't work here, right?
right,
and,
they do.
no,
They abuse them.
but to be honest, why wouldn't you wanna work for the chief? You know, honestly, the leadership in your department really makes you wanna stay.
I'm hoping they're gonna go get more experience and then
Come back, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, Neil's always welcome, you know, so, you know, it's sad to lose her. All right, do you have anything else, Chief?
I don't think so, no. We, well, just for old things, we trained, did some on the Milo system today, so we were up there,
Okay.
tunking around.
Yeah, just let us know when you're ready. and
We
we'll
make sure when there's
schedule
people in the building, we turn the volume down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
this, but I see Chief on Friday mornings at the school all the time. Say-
Yeah, every Friday I go, or I try to every
Is
Friday.
it high fives?
Yeah, I just go. So at the high school, Mr. Duff does the crosswalk, so I stand there with him,
Helps
greet the kids when they
manage
come out.
traffic.
Yep.
So
Make
the
fun
kids
of him
can
how he
cross the
directs
road.
traffic. And then from there, I go to the elementary school. Same thing. They come in. Kids usually high five me, and then I walk around the school and I visit a few of the classrooms. I forget what the teacher is. One classroom has a little spin wheel. I spin it every Friday, and if I get it on the one with the stars, everyone gets starbursts.
Oh.
So if I'm in a dry spell, sometimes when she's not looking, I stop
Stop
it.
it right there. Kind of move it back a little bit.
You should put sticky tape there so you spin it, it sticks.
Very good. Right. And it's very important to have you in the schools and see, let kids know that they can talk to you and you're there.
Yep.
And you're available to them. Good job, Chief.
Thank you.
And good job with the department.
Thank you.
You have anything?
No.
We're good. Yep, very good.
Okay, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, discussion and possible vote to authorize the highway surveyor to deficit spend in the snow and ice account, anticipated vote. It's that time again, Jeremy.
Yep.
That must
Jeremy
mean winter's
Olson, Highway
almost-
surveyor. Go ahead.
It must mean winter's almost over, right?
Oh, I wish.
More
I'm
storms
thinking,
coming.
is it early spring, right? I heard that. Yeah. Well,
little
it can't-
rodent.
it can't come soon enough. So, the one thing I'll say about this year is costs of everything are showing quickly. It's amazing how fast the money's going. It's just between fuel, salt, payroll, vendors, everything, it's, the last somewhat big storm we had a week and a half ago, it was almost $26,000 just for one storm. So, it's $110,000 doesn't last as long as it used to.
No,
So,
no. All right, so this, what are you requesting for deficit spending?
yeah, we don't have,
You just,
gonna try and keep it as low as possible, but that depends
Under
on the
10?
weather.
under 20?
So that's like one salt order right there.
So to give the board a little perspective, currently, right now, and this doesn't include any bills from this last storm that we have gotten that have not made the town accountant's office as of yet. But as of right now, with the warrant that just went out for the vendor warrant from the town accountant's office, there's currently only $6,201 left.
We have
And
two snowstorms coming up, one tonight and one on
Right.
Saturday.
And then there's this past storm that some bills that he had incurred are not processed yet.
Yeah, they-
He's got them, they're just not processed yet. And it's gonna, bring that down significantly, from
They were
Tuesday's
down
storm.
about $1,400 right
Yeah.
now, as of today, because I have the numbers right to the penny.
Right.
We're sitting at $1,400 before tonight's storm.
And that's after Tuesday's
That's
storm.
after Tuesday's storm, but before tonight. So before I pay any overtime tonight, we're at $1,400.
So how about we just put the whole town on the honor system? No driving during the snow?
Hey, that'd be fine by me. It's
I'll
gonna
do
be
it.
in the mid-40s by next week, so we
I
can
just
just
gotta
let it
say,
sit. We'll let it melt.
no matter what you do, people are gonna complain about it anyways, so. All right. So do you have any questions, sir?
No, oh, I was gonna ask, so the budget is 110?
So our supply budget is 110, and then we have a overtime budget for the employees, which is like 24 or something
So
like that.
The total for the budget was 134,560.
Yeah.
So that's already,
Gone.
gone. So that's a significant amount, and if you look at to what the highway surveyor said, I mean, we really didn't get a lot of snow this year.
No,
And look at how much it
It's
costs the town
catching up.
to do that.
Hmm.
And so costs are on the rise, wages increase, it's expensive, these things, happen, and a lot of communities at this time are looking to, unfortunately, deficit spend. And this is the can deficit spend it. And deficit spending is only allowed for the ability to clean up those particular storms. Like, you know, you can't just go out and buy supplies or buy additional equipment. It's just to clean that particular storm at that particular time.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, I support anything because, you know, we have to keep the road safe.
Okay, very good. Okay, your motion?
Make a motion to authorize the highway surveyor to deficit spend in the snow and ice account.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you guys.
Once again,
Go
All
nuts.
right, I'm gonna go hit the road here and start spreading some salt, so.
That's already
I
way-
got about an hour and a half till it's supposed to start.
no matter what anybody says, we think you're doing an outstanding job.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're doing an amazing job through the town, and it just definitely shows, can't make everybody happy all the time. And later on, we'll be dealing with something, and you'll see, we can't make everybody happy all the time
It's
either.
impossible.
So, we do the best we can, just like you're doing the best you can. And just so you know, we have you guys back, and we appreciate everything you guys do. So thank you.
And if somebody's not happy, you're more than welcome to come in here and talk to us.
I would love instead of just complaining, call me, email me, let's talk.
Yeah.
Come on down, I'll show you what it's all about.
Everybody jumps
We
on
have-
Facebook and
We
makes
have,
their comments.
We have a really good crew. We're very fortunate this year. We are definitely the most well-staffed highway department anywhere around. Every single truck I have a driver for this year, and that has never happened. So, and I, knock on wood, everybody keeps coming back, because then maybe next year I can get rid of another vendor, and every time we can get rid of a vendor, it's less money for us to put one of our people in a vehicle than it is to hire a vehicle with a driver. That's a lot more money to do that. So, again, we can keep the staffing up and keep our old equipment rolling. We're doing all right, so.
You got a capital improvement plan now, start
Oh,
cycling out that equipment.
I got 2 trucks on the list, so.
It's a lot easier to do in portions than it
Yes.
is to just all of a sudden, oh, we need a $900,000 fire truck. Oh, I need 5 cruisers because they're all over 300,000 miles, you know?
You know, so I don't ask for stuff that expensive.
Well, the scary part is, we're just pricing out another new small dump truck, and it's almost $150,000 for a truck that 5 years ago was probably $75,000. Oh, just the prices are
Well, just wait till they
unreal.
make you go all electric with them.
Well, we'll have to, that'll be a while, because we'll be charging them, well, sorry, we can't plow the roads for about 5-6 hours while our equipment charges.
You can't charge it.
You gotta charge it every couple
There's no
hours.
sun when this is storming.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put in a few
Oh,
charges.
then we just have a power outage, and then you can't charge them either.
Yeah. We got a
Oh, they don't
generator.
charge during the winter, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'll never happen, I don't think.
Oh.
Unless technology changes a lot.
Well, they're pushing for the electric school buses and everything
Yeah.
else, and it's like,
Well, anything that has to run through emergencies can't be electric.
I just
Not
recently
now.
seen an, all-electric state police cruiser
Mhm.
at the gas. He was pulled into the gas station, but he wasn't getting gas. He was going to grab a coffee, because I'm looking at him like, it's an electric cruiser.
Hmm.
I don't know how that works.
Well, hopefully you don't need it, in an emergency.
Patrol car.
Huh?
Not patrol car.
Probably, they
No.
probably just,
No.
display. So,
No. All right, thank you, guys.
take care.
Thanks.
Good job. All right. Emergency Management Monthly Report. Jimmy, you're up.
Good evening, Emergency Manager James McKeon with my January 2024 report. January 7th, I did the test of the emergency sirens normal. It actually occurred during one of our biggest snowstorms too. We got about a foot of snow that day. a little more on the higher elevations. And leads into January being a very active, stormy month. Changeable weather conditions from snow to rain to ice, as we were just talking about. And they were kind of on off times, weekends and nights, and they were long duration events, 12 to 18 hours of precipitation falling. And the bigger snowstorm melted like in a week too, which caused some flooding issues and stuff, high water. I'll do some snow reports here. The 8th of January, we had that foot. The 16th of January, we had about 2.5 inches of snow. Then we had a little coating of snow January 21st, 1.5 inches on the 23rd, and about 3 inches on the 28th. Once again, these are all small storms, but long duration, and they changed from condition, snow to ice to. So we averaged about 20 inches of snow. Some places in town, most of the storms in town, actually the southeast side of town, had the heavier amounts of snow. And it'd be like 4 or 5 inches of snow on one side, 2 inches on the other. So as people are even looking out their window saying, oh, it didn't snow much to go across town, it's a different world. Then in between all these snows, we had a couple rainstorms, about 3 inches of rain for the month. Then I'll go back into the CERT. We had a CERT meeting on January 24th, though not too many members showed up, so we weren't able to do too much. Later that day, I went to a regional CERT leader meeting, which we talked about our goals for upcoming years, different trainings and stuff that everyone's doing regional-wise. And they all basically have the same issues of finding volunteers. That's the biggest thing. That's regionalization, getting teams together to basically be able to perform something. Lastly, I did get the go-ahead from the EMPG grant that you guys signed a couple months ago back, so that storage container will be coming in a few months. That's pretty much what I have for January.
Do you have any questions?
I don't?
No questions.
Good job. If anybody wants to join CERT, please contact Jimmy and let them know that they're interested in joining. We definitely could use members. You could definitely use members there. So if you're interested in doing it, or even just learning about it, and you want to talk to them, give them a call. Send them an email.
Even if you don't have too much time, you know, our sheltering is our biggest thing, where we need the most help and volunteers. Even if you don't want to do stuff like traffic or heavy medical stuff, we still need people to help run the shelters if need, opening, managing, checking people in and whatnot. So,
It's a great way to help out the community and help out your neighbors, especially if anything happens. So, all right. Thank you very much, sir. Next thing on the agenda is discussion on proposed fiscal year 2025 Selectmen's budget, anticipated vote. So we went through all the items last time. And
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'm still waiting on the insurance liability and workers' comp premiums renewals.
so table this to next week?
Yeah, Joanne thought that she would have them this week. Unfortunately, they're not available as of yet.
Okay. All right. You guys good with tabling it to next week?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Good, legal expenses go.
Last page.
Top of second page, yeah, Selectmen V.
Okay. Right. Right.
I made the 2 changes.
Yep. Okay, so we'll table it till next week, and we have the numbers back.
Yep.
You good with that?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, moving on. All right, report on the School Street, Prospect Street site walk, and continued discussion on possibly signing the certificate of substantial completion for the work done on the School Street Phase 1 and Prospect Street Improvement Project. Anticipated vote. So today at 3 p.m., we had a site walk for these areas. We looked at the retaining wall, looked at some of the roads, the drainage, talked with neighbors. We all met there. It was a group of us. It was the 3 selectmen, Mr. Ferrara, Mrs. Dusty, Jeremy Olson, Chris Dunphy, and
Bill Storty.
Bill Storty from Weston and Sampson, the engineer. So we're out there for about an hour and a half.
Yes.
I think so. Everybody realized that it's definitely a cold day to be doing this, but it was well needed. And we talked to several of the residents in the area and heard their concerns and looked at the walls and addressed any concerns we had with some cleanup issues over there and what the next phase would be. So it was very informative. I don't think I really have any outstanding concerns. Just some maintenance issues, some cleanup of the fence and stuff, and about it. The wall built strong. There's no question about that. And we talked a lot about the wall, so I think we're all safe with how the wall is built. Are you good with the wall?
Yeah. The punch list should probably have the caulking.
Yeah, so I'm anticipating getting an updated punch list from Bill Storty after today's meeting. I will certainly forward it to the board as soon as I get it, and make sure it has all those items that the board had talked about at today's meeting.
Is they gonna grout some of the cracks on the wall and put some caulking in, clean up the fence, and then take care of any little sharp edges with the fence line and stuff, so. All right, did you have anything?
Beautiful wall, very well built.
Yep. All right.
I will also bring to the attention of the board, as it was mentioned today, but also for the public as well. We are also holding approximately $10,000 in retainage for the finishing up of this project. So we also have money that is owed to the contractor upon final completion. This is substantial completion, but this is not final. So
They still got more work to do. Did you have anything else?
So are we gonna hold off on the certificate of completion?
Well, this is substantial completion.
it's not final, yeah.
It's not final. What are your thoughts?
Of substantial completion?
Yeah, just,
okay.
they're more than halfway through
Yeah,
with their project.
yeah, it's just cleanup now.
It's just
Right.
cleanup,
Minor.
maintaining, yeah.
Okay.
Plus, you're still holding money on the
Yeah.
project
Until final.
until final.
Okay, yeah, all right.
You have any other questions?
No.
Do you want to talk about what you've seen out there?
No, I think you covered it, right? I mean, the
You
fence.
guys are allowed to talk in here too, you know.
I mean, the wall looks good, the fence, there's some pieces along the fence that need to be addressed. I think that's pretty much it. I think we learned, about the wall, and it looks well built, and I think it's, the way it is the way it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you have anything, sir?
Yeah, I think we are talking about a wall, but really what it is that potentially without that wall, we could lose that road. It could collapse, anytime. That's why I was appointed to build a retaining wall to retain, not only the sidewalk, but the road. So we're very fortunate to have it, because, the way it rains over here, it could wash out the road.
Yeah, the other wall wasn't up to par. There was a lot of issues with it, so, it definitely had to be done right.
So it's not only a wall, it's a big blessing for all that community over there.
It'll last a very long time. Do you have anything else?
No, sir, that's it.
All right. Mr. Faradi, do you have anything there?
No, I'd just like to mention to the public, this is just phase one. There's still some cleanup that needs to be done. It's gonna look a whole lot different come the spring, and when phase two starts, you're really gonna see a real more finer finish when that is done. It's gonna get a little bit more messy before it gets better, but it's going to, once it's finished and you see, a cement sidewalk, and you see the final paving's done, and you see, the curbing done, you'll have that curb appeal. Right now, it's, it takes a vision to see it, but it will be coming, and it will be coming. And like Selectman Belize said, that is very important. That wall is, it's gonna help, not mitigate any erosion to that area. I mean, the thing that was there before, I don't even call that a wall. I mean, that was piping that was just like, blocking off, part of the sidewalk there and the embankment. This is a totally engineered wall that is crash proof, that is, provides safety for the residents. God forbid if somebody got into a car accident or went over or got off to the road for some reason, slid off to the road, this has more protection added to it than what was there before. And so it's improvements. We're going to continue improving not only School Street, but we're going to continue improving in the back because of the new One Stop for Growth grant that we got for Otis Street, and with some CDBG money. So it's really going to complete that whole neighborhood.
Very good. Jeremy, did you want to add anything? Sure.
No, just you guys are touching upon everything that, again, this was phase one. The majority of the work they did during phase one was underground. The wall was the one thing above ground that you got to really see. And again, a large portion of that wall is actually still underground.
Yeah.
And again, it's some people would think it, maybe it was overkill, but no, that's what they had to engineer for that spot. It is supporting the road. The wall that was there was natural stone, falling apart. The nice benefit is the contractor gave a lot of that stone to the highway department so we can reuse it in other projects around town. So that is one fortunate benefit from taking the old wall down. And yeah, there was no safety there. That I wouldn't even let our employees clear the sidewalk because it was too dangerous to fall off with machines. So, but now once phase two kicks in, all the surface work's done. It'll be even safer. The drainage is installed. All those things. It's a really good project. And for the funding that we get, you have to make it go. You have to really stretch it because construction costs are so high. And the fact that we stretched it out two phases in this project and getting this whole street redone, it's a pretty good thing. We could have not gotten this funding and still had the old street, and this is 100 times what that is. So, like I said, I think we're in a good place right now, and there's a couple more streets right in that neighborhood that are going to get a facelift too. So hopefully after another year or so, that whole neighborhood will be nice, new, And we won't have to do much to it, but maintain it for many years to come.
Very good. If you have nothing further, we'll do a motion.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to accept and sign the certificate of substantial completion for the work done on the School Street Phase 1 and Prospect Street Improvement Project.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. All right.
When we were walking today over there, I thought, oh, this will be the best place to do trick or treat on Halloween. Houses are nearby, nice sidewalks,
Yeah.
low traffic.
And if anybody wants to learn more information about these projects, the Community Development Advisory Committee meets on the fourth Wednesday of the
Yeah,
month.
4 o'clock.
At 4 o'clock.
Thank you very much. It's just the front page, right?
Pardon?
Just the one page?
Yes.
All right, moving on. Discussion and appointment for the Town Levy Compliance / Safety Committee. Adam Lavoy, William Leslie, and for a 3-year term, anticipated vote. Okay, anybody have any questions about it? No? Any objections?
No, sir.
All right, let's do a motion.
Make a motion to appoint Adam Lavoy and William Leslie for a 3-year term to the Town Levy Compliance / Safety Committee.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, discussion and appointment of Daniel Thibodeau to the Town of Warren 20-year Comprehensive Plan Committee. Anticipated vote. Any questions?
It's the Master Plan Committee. 20-year Comprehensive Master Plan Committee.
20-year Master Plan, Comprehensive Master Plan Committee. Okay,
Yeah, this just says Master Plan Committee.
It's different on the memo than on the
Yeah.
agenda, that's it.
so we'll just fix the memo and we'll sign the memo.
Okay.
You don't have to sign a memo.
Okay. Anybody have any questions about it?
No.
No,
Any
sir.
objections?
Nope.
Nope.
You still want to be on the committee?
Don't ask him that.
Too late.
Dad, don't give him a chance.
Get him a chance to get out of it.
All right, I'll make a motion to appoint Dan, how do you say your last
Thibodeau.
name?
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau, okay, to the Town of Warren Master Plan Committee.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Is that thing still going on Saturday?
Yes.
Yep.
10 a.m. at the senior center. All right. Discussion and signing of the warrants for presidential preference primary. Anticipated vote. So, Mr. Farrar?
This is from the town clerk. This is just the warrant for the upcoming presidential primary on March 5th.
And so people know this is not anybody that we're saying, this person, we're not saying
No.
Trump versus Biden or
No.
anything like that. That's nothing like this. It's
No.
just saying that they're having a presidential election,
Yep,
Primary.
primary election.
yep.
Yeah.
And the polling locations now are located right here in this building, in the gym, for polling place A and B,
Yep. So yes, this is for the primary.
presidential primary.
Yes. Okay. Great. Do you guys have any questions?
And the change of polling place B was for this year,
Yeah,
right?
that was,
Right.
that was earlier, yeah. We
Right.
did that
Yeah,
earlier.
we're gonna do
No, I know, but just people are gonna ask,
that.
right?
Yeah, we just wanna make sure we put that out everywhere.
It
So,
says it right
sir,
on the warrant.
you're probably gonna wanna make sure the big billboard goes out there, knowing that everybody's gonna be voting in one location now.
Mhm.
and not to go to the senior center.
That day, you might wanna put some kind of big sign at the senior center too, just to.
Yeah. Facebook, whatever.
Yes. We'll push it out everywhere, make sure that people
Another
know
one for
We
you.
might have two, but.
on the
We all
website,
Yes.
the locations too, so.
It's already on the website, isn't it, Karen?
The notice is the warrant will be
No,
after,
location,
yes, the location
Location
is.
yep, yep,
Yes.
yep.
okay. All right, do you guys have anything else?
No.
Questions? Okay, do a motion.
Make a motion to approve and sign the warrant for presidential preference primary.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you, sir. All right, warrants and bills.
Make a motion to pay the following warrants. Number 45, payroll, $95,266.55. Dollar sign 46. Number 46, vendor, $334,562.04.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Make a motion to pay the following bills. Modern Pest, $8. Crystal Rock, $26.45. Comcast Business, $143.35. National Grid, $3,047.75. Verizon, $751. Stericycle, $242.04. Van Pool, $4,608.45. Pine Ridge Technologies, $637.90. AKA Industrial Services, $9,940.
You went up quite a bit on
Gave
that
him a
one.
raise.
Second,
All in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay. Minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes for February 1st, 2024.
Oh,
Second,
all in favor?
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Derek Bailey's aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Town Administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members of the board. I have a few things to report on this week in my weekly report. I do want to report back to the board. I was able to get a hold of Michael Stewart at All One Health, and we have scheduled our customer service / dealing with difficult people training is set for March 27th at 1 p.m. That it will be on a Wednesday, and this is mandatory training for all town staff. I am going to ask the board, and I will remind the board when the date comes closer, to authorize the closing of town offices on that day at 12:45, so that people can come to the training and participate in the training. But it is booked. We have it set. And we'll be working without sending out the notices to departments probably next week, so that they have plenty of time to make arrangements for staff to attend the training.
Okay, very good.
This week, we continued on with our interviews for the position of town accountant. We had one interview today. We have our final second interview next week with a candidate on Thursday, February 22nd in the morning. I anticipate shortly after that we'll be bringing somebody forward to the board for consideration. This week, I also contacted BG Mechanical. BG Mechanical was on site. I know that the board had signaled to me about they were hearing fluid and noise coming through the heating units and the heating system, in particular this room and in Karen's office, and some other offices throughout the building. It was determined after they did an inspection that we have significant low pressure, a PSI in our system, and which is causing the fluid to move through the unit. They need to replace one of the valve mechanisms on it. They were actually back here today. One of the mechanisms that they had thought might work was a little bit short, and so they have to special order it. It is coming. They're going to order it, and hopefully the PSI levels will stay consistent. Okay, our PSI levels at the time when they came in to do the inspection was running at 5 pounds. It needs to be at a 12 pound and maintain that 12 pound because we have 30 pound release valves. If the pressure's too low, it could snap a release valve and cause the system to have failure. They're hoping that this valve and this mechanism will correct itself and will fix and will maintain the PSI level at the 12. If it doesn't, then there could be, and the pressure continues to drop, then we have a significant problem with our expansion tank, and the expansion tank may need replacing then at that point. If that's the case, the expansion tank is an aged tank. I think it was built in 2007, so it's about 17 years old. It is kind of past its useful life, but hopefully it can hang in there, and we don't have to replace it. That's a big job. I'm talking probably in the ballpark of $8,000 to $10,000, depending on supplies and demands and different things like that on the worst side of things. So we're hoping that that this valve that they're looking to install, which is is going to cost a few $100s, will correct itself and help us maintain it. And it's not the expansion tank, but if it is, then that's what we're going to have to look at. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to bleed the system at this point, but that is what's causing the issue with the noise. And as you can hear, we haven't heard too much noise, and I don't think since they came we haven't heard too much noise, because they were able to get the pressure up, put some additional pressure into the system to release it. So hopefully we can maintain at that level.
He did say when he came today that it was still at the 12.
Very good.
So should we just count on replacing that expansion tank anyway?
Well, I mean, maybe
this ATM or?
Yeah, maybe we can do it at the ATM, type of deal, and plan for the future on it. I'm hoping that I can just get by, that we can get by until then.
Get by another year or something.
Yeah, but have a plan to put some money aside for it, to take care of it.
We do. You said it's how many years old?
17.
And what's the expected life?
It's right around the 20-year mark.
Okay, all right.
So.
Just kind of stinks if it goes and then we don't have the money and we're screwed.
Right.
That's fine if it goes during the summer.
Yeah, probably won't though, right?
So we're monitoring it. BG's supposed to be back as soon as the part comes in, and they're gonna keep me updated on that. This week I worked with the Board of Health. I'm sure some departments, everybody should have gotten the notification. The Board of Health is working on reapplying for the recycling grant. There's a memo and a directive that I have to give out to all departments about the importance of buying recycled products, and we sent that out yesterday. We followed it up today with the actual copy of the policy that was adopted by the Select Board back in 2016. And so it's an important policy that when appropriate, if we can make everything work as needed, to look at buying recycled products to help the environment. And having that policy in place. This will also help the Board of Health with their grants on a recycling grant to continue to get that funding. So I worked with the board chair, Don Makowski, as well as Leslie Cook, who's our interim there, and the Board of Health to get that out and get that taken care of in a timely manner so that they can continue to get their grants from the DEP. That's the Mass State DEP grant that they get, so we got those notifications out. I wanted to update the board on the Maya cybersecurity grant that we have for $5,000. I'm in the process of getting that completed, and we applied for the grant back in in the fall. We were notified that we were the recipient of the award right before the new year. Some pricing had changed a little bit on some of the products that when we were originally quoted, but right now we're looking to do sonic walls at our highway garage, senior center, in the sewer department. Okay, 3 key areas that were not currently protected. We can do that, and we can have those installed, and the grant can take care of them for the 1 year. Okay, the sonic wall subscription is for 1 year. If you want to, it probably makes fiscal sense that if we can get some additional years now, buy them early with sonic wall, we'll save some money in the long run. So you get 1 year with the installation, and then if you do 3 additional years, it's $1,071 per sonic wall. So you would get a total of 4 years subscription of sonic wall protection. Our grant was for $5,000. So for an additional $1,800, we could have 4 years of coverage, have this all installed, and be protected. I think makes sense. We do have the money in our hardware account to do it, and we could take care of it.
Yeah,
You good?
yeah.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
And then also taking care of a couple loose ends in some requests from some departments was the conservation clerk's computer was on its last legs. It was 13 years old. It's stalling out. She's mentioned it to me last year. They brought it up again in their budget request this year. We had some funds available in the hardware account. We can address it. We addressed it. Okay, we got a whole new device for that. The tax collector also came and asked for bigger monitors because of the type that the Vadar system is kind of small in type. The monitors that they have are, I think they're like 17 inches. Now, the standard is basically like a 23-inch monitor. So we got 23-inch monitors. We didn't buy them through Northeast IT. We were able to get a better deal, brand new, through Amazon. We were able to take care of those for $125 a piece. We bought 3 monitors, actually. So I got 2 monitors for the tax collector's office and the monitor for the conservation agent, because Northeast IT's monitors were $250 a piece. We were able to buy them on Amazon, brand new, $125 a piece. So we bought the computer from Northeast IT all set up. The computer does not come with a monitor. They make you buy their monitors. So the computer's $1,015 with no monitor. So if you buy new computers from Northeast IT, it's $1,015. No monitor. Comes with a keyboard and a wired keyboard and a wired mouse. So we were able to take care of the new computer, the new monitors for $1,500, and got it all squared away. And we also made sure that any new computer that we're going to put in also has a webcam. Because everybody's doing Zoom trainings, different Zoom things, and we can't, they don't make Dell, because what we use here is Dell, they make a Dell a screen with a camera in it, but the monitor is so expensive for just the webcam installed in it. It's not economically friendly. And then I asked kind of our IT provider, why does Dell do that? And well, they didn't really know, but it's probably better that you do a webcam on the outside anyways, in case the webcam breaks, then you gotta replace the monitor, and the monitor still works, it's a separate thing. And I said, okay, it makes sense. Now, the webcams from Northeast IT are $75. The webcam, you can buy the same webcam on Amazon for $30. So we were able to save some money, and we got everybody the same webcam, and Northeast came and set everything up this week. So that's done. The capital planning memo went out to all departments on Monday. That has been sent out. It gives until March the 12th for departments to respond back. It's a standard form that we're looking for the capital planning committee to review all these requests, compile all these requests. I would imagine the capital planning committee is going to meet again in the future to discuss a rating system or how they want to score these projects, or an evaluation criteria, so that they can have an established criteria. That's a possibility that we're going to meet before the 12th to work on that and to get that out to departments so that departments kind of understand the evaluation criteria. Also this week, I've been working with the board and with town council on where we are in terms of finances for that. I've worked with the finance committee in terms of a reserve account transfer request that we're going to need to get before them. That's going to happen on Tuesday at 3:30. And the reason why we're looking to do this is because of a resolve on a matter, on a litigation matter, that we anticipated was going to be resolved through mediation. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And if we need to continually to go down with litigation, it's going to, we need to have the money to take care of this. This wasn't anticipated. We anticipated that mediation would work and that this would be resolved. And we made a good faith effort to do that. Unfortunately, it's not. It didn't resolve it at this particular time. However, we're going to need to continue to press on. Currently, we have $8,540 left in town council available budget. That takes care of us until December 31st. With January's bills that are going to be coming out probably next week, those January bills are $7,941. We have about $600 left. So we need to make sure that we have some money to keep up with general legal expense and with ongoing litigation. So I'm going to be making a pitch to the Finance Committee on Tuesday at 3:30 at their meeting. The Quabog budget, they have their draft budget is coming out. I talked to Mr. Duff. I asked him when his draft budget would be available. He said that he's going to be sending it over to me tomorrow morning, possibly later tonight. But he's making a presentation in front of West Brookfield tonight at 6, and that he would be sending over the budget so that I can send it to the board as soon as I get it for your review. I also been in coordination with CMRPC, Central Mass Regional Planning Commission, on our ADA grant kickoff. We have a tentative kickoff date in front of the board on February 29th at 6 p.m. So that's They are going to come in front of the board. They'll have a kickoff at 6 p.m. on the 29th at our meeting. Before that, at like 4 o'clock, they will be here a little bit earlier to interact and to talk with some department heads. I was also able to coordinate this week with Maya. Maya is going to be having a driver simulator crash vehicle in New Braintree the week of March 5th. And on March 5th, I was able to work with Chief Millette to send 3 of our new officers to that training for a simulated crash driver safety training. On March 5th, we're going to be sending 3 officers to that training. We're also going to get significant credit from Maya by sending representatives to that. And it's important that we send our new officers to that. So I coordinated that with the chief, and he was very helpful in getting that and making that happen. So thank you, Chief. The FY25 budget process is ongoing. FinCom's meeting was scheduled for this Tuesday. Unfortunately, due to the snowstorm, that was canceled. So their meeting has been postponed now until Tuesday, this coming up Tuesday at 3:30. They will start reviewing all the budgets and calling departments in as needed. Green Communities Grant is open, and I'm going to be applying for and working with Central Mass Regional Planning Commission for $200,000, another $200,000. So we did $200,000 last year. We're going to do another $200,000. We're going to try to get another $200,000 this year for some green initiatives around town. One thing in particular that I know could be very helpful, it's not going to be just all $200,000, but is going to be weatherization at the senior center. Okay, making sure that it's completely, the building is completely wrapped around there.
Would it put a new roof on?
No, wouldn't pay for a roof. It wouldn't pay for a new heating system either. It would pay for a heat pump, but it wouldn't pay for a whole heating system. I checked into those early on. Weatherization, it definitely would.
Insulating the building.
Insulating, like the attic area, weatherization strips.
That's insulated, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much it is or whatever it is, but we could send, we have some energy efficient contractors available on the state list. We could set, we can have them look at the building, see how we can make it more energy efficient. Obviously, trying to finish up that building. In the future, we're looking at a new roof there. We're looking at a new heating system there, along with some other upgrades to the kitchen that we're going to be doing in the spring. So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening there at that building that we've already, started to address some issues already with the exterior of the building. I did also reach out to Rep. Smola and Senator Oliveri. I know it's budget season, and I know typically around budget season, sometimes the legislature will entertain earmarks for projects that are of need to cities and towns. And I did mention a new roof to them. I did get a quote for a roof from a company that is a prevailing wage company, that's OSHA, that's a union company, that is all certified and is on the state list. And a new roof down there with prevailing wage and everything is $70,000. So
It's not too bad, I figured it'd be more.
yeah, that's stripping the whole thing down and putting a whole new roof on there.
Yeah, because there's like 5 layers on there, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right, Corey, the building can have 2.
Yeah, there's like 5 layers on the roof.
So, I just, I just sent that out there as a, if you're looking for something, I had a quote from a state quote person. I provided them with a written quote. I gave them everything. I don't know if that's even possible. They cut earmarks this year But, you know, you never know. If you don't ask, you'll never get.
Mhm.
So, we threw it out there, we sent it out there this week. We have a senior center meeting, we have a meeting this Saturday with the senior center. I'm gonna be down there with our rep Chris Dunphy from CMRPC. We're gonna be talking about all the planning projects that we've got going on in town. We're gonna be entertaining any questions from any of the residents, any concerns, and just talking about all of the projects that are going on in Warren. We have a significant amount of projects right now, planning, vision for the future, CDBG projects, road construction, just trying to attract new things to Warren. Today I had a monthly updated meeting with Weston and Sampson on our EDA stuff, and they're progressing on a lot of this, their stuff with their analysis around the Wrights Mills complex, and their monthly check-in was today. I checked in with them today. I also participated in Senator and former Senator and Rural Director now, Ann Goby, has weekly check-ins every week as her Rural Director status. So I did attend this week's Rural Status check-in on Wednesday, and we were talking about the new One Stop for Growth expressions of interest now that it is open now until the end of April to submit for certain projects that would qualify under the new One Stop grant that's out there. So a lot of things are happening right now with the town. We have a lot of projects out there. We have a lot of tasks that we're currently working on, and we're trying to keep moving forward.
Very good. Anything else?
No, that's about it, sir.
Do you have any questions?
Okay, I have two questions. So, back to the heaters. So they're not bubbling anymore.
Correct.
So what did they do to fix that? I think I missed that.
So they put more pressure into the system.
Oh, they just added pressure,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But then they discovered that the valve is bad.
Right. The valve that was applying
Okay.
to transmit that pressure wasn't transmitting. But they also noticed that there's something off with the tank, with the expansion tank.
Okay.
And so they're hoping that this new valve will fix that and correct that. If it doesn't, then it's possible that the expansion tank, which is old, needs to be replaced.
But tweaking the valve got these to work.
Correct.
Okay.
And as long as, like Karen had mentioned, as long as the PSI levels hold,
Yeah.
that's good.
Okay, yeah. Second question, how does an earmark work? Does that, let's say they put in an earmark, so say they put it in for $100K and our roof ends up costing 75.
Mhm.
So do we get a grant
No,
or reimbursement?
Our earmarks are very difficult.
Yeah.
And reps and senators, they don't really like to talk about them too much.
Oh, sorry.
Because
You don't have to answer the question.
well, no, they're tough to get, right?
Yeah.
Because every community wants them, and everybody out of 495 gets them. But more central western Mass people, it's tough to get.
Hmm.
And so, they're tough, and earmarks are just money that they put aside for projects, for districts that have significant needs. A new roof at a senior center is a significant, that's a significant project.
Right, but I guess my question is, how does it come through, how does it get to us? As a grant
No,
or reimbursement?
No, it would be just, we would just get additional money from the state, so it would be wired
Oh,
in.
okay. I see.
So.
So we get a set amount from the state and all of a
Right.
sudden we get an extra little bit
Right,
coming in.
right.
And then we use it to pay. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And, like I said, this year earmarks got cut. Like Adam said, a lot of earmarks got cut in half. So that would be for fiscal year '24, the earmarks got cut in half. We're asking for fiscal year '25, hoping that economic conditions are better.
Okay. So we'd have to they'd have to pass and pass and pass
Right.
and then.
Right.
So we don't get the money until we get the money.
Right, right, and maybe,
Don't cash that check yet.
Yeah, don't cash that check just yet.
maybe the earmark could be $50,000, that, maybe that's what they can give. Okay, well
Partially,
then,
yeah.
it's only gonna cost us $25,000 to get that new roof.
Any bit helps.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
I'm good, sir.
You sure? All right. I have nothing? Good job, thank you. Very detailed.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, on to discussion on potential open meeting law complaint by resident Peter Krachak. Krachak? No.
Yeah,
Krachak.
Krasik, right?
Krachak. Yeah, I always mess up the name. So, Mr. Krachak is filing a open meeting law complaint based off of, well, it began with a posting from the town Facebook page about the master plan kickoff meeting and announcing that. During that, I put some input, a lot of residents were asking questions, well, what is it? So I answered the residents, stating what it is and what the importance is. Throughout the conversation, another resident brought up about bringing illegal immigrants into the community, and that's why we wanted our plan. And that it was to bring illegal immigrants into the community. And I replied to that comment stating that that was not the purpose of this, that that's not the intent of the town, and we have no interest in doing that. Mr. Krachak took offense to that and felt that by me doing that, I committed an open meeting law violation. I was answering a question to a resident that was concerned about what the master plan was about. So, my understanding, I have the right to be able to do that. And that's what I did. Again, I was stating facts because this town does not have hotels. It does not have any place to place any type of immigrants, in our community. We don't have the space or the means to do something like that. So, stating a fact, and stating what the purpose of this meeting was actually for, and why it was important for residents to go. So that was that. There was also a two-part thing, because he was also concerned that Mr. Belize was running the website.
Facebook
That, the Facebook page. Mr. Belize does that because he's the most technically minded with Facebook. He's our subject matter expert when it comes to the Facebook posts and things like that. So part of what all of us said we were gonna do when we became selectmen is to be much more transparent with the public. We've been more transparent through social media, through having meetings posted on YouTube, having Zoom meetings, live streaming on Facebook, advertising our meetings, letting people come to them and ask questions for comments and concerns, which, again, we open that up to all residents and we invite everybody in here to do that. This board has been nothing but transparent with everybody in our community, and we continue to do so. So if there's a concern that we utilize social media to get messages out in our official capacity, well, that's what we promised to do in the first part. Those messages are not debating any topics. All they are is putting out the information to the public. So the public is more informed of what's going on within their local government. Again, Mr. Belize is the best person for that job to do that at this time. Maybe later on, we'll look into having an employee do it. Maybe the town administrator will be taking on that role. I know West Brookfield's town administrator does that particular thing. Maybe at some point, we might have Mr. Ferrara take over that responsibility, but right now, Mr. Belize does that, and he does a very good job with it. And I have no question, as far as his, integrity in doing that, and doing it in a fair and honest manner. So, again, he has a right to be able to file open meeting law complaints, but again, we also have a right to be able to talk to our public and identify issues to the residents so they're better informed through the community. So, does anybody have any questions about that? Mr. Farrar?
No, I will also say that, as selectmen, you guys have the, ability to respond to constituents.
Right.
And if, individually, so if a constituent raises a concern, whether it be, what time is the selectmen meeting tomorrow? What time is the meeting on Saturday? Or, when is the parade next week? You guys have the ability as individual selectmen, and you have, quite frankly, the responsibility to respond to constituents and to bring that information. You're not deliberating on a matter, you're not making a decision on a matter, you're not coordinating amongst yourselves on a matter. You're letting information be known to the public as constituent service.
Wait, do you have anything on
Well, so he claims that the chairman used the website to reschedule the master plan meeting date and time to please the group. So first of all, we can talk about the schedule of meetings, and we can talk about what's on the agenda without violating open meeting laws, right? There's
Those are public
those are two
documents.
things.
Yep.
We can go back and forth in an email or whatever and say, I wanna put this on the agenda, let's put this on the agenda, when are we gonna meet? All that falls outside of open meeting law.
it?
There's no deliberation there. Yeah.
There's no deliberation. Residents were concerned about when the meeting was, because it was being held in the morning and it wasn't available for all residents. So we made it in an evening, so more residents could attend. We opened up that up, and we seen what the turnout was, and, we can make it as accommodating as possible for people, but we can't force people to show up. But the public was asking to do it later on in the day so they could have time to be able to come. And some of the employees were concerned also, so we did that, and we made that adjustment.
And then he talks about that you were engaging with the public prior to the meeting about the chimes, turning on the chimes. Again, that's outreach to citizens.
Yep.
There were no decisions made via Facebook. The chairman simply asked people if they wanted them on, and then he brought that information back to a meeting that was where that topic was an agenda item, and we discussed it and voted and decided to turn on the bells, so I
And
don't
that's
see any.
perfectly acceptable because it's outreach to the public, constituents seeing a concern, they wanted the bells back on, and we heard what they said, and we held a meeting. We advertised that meeting. We even went above and beyond by inviting Mr. Krazak to the meeting because it is no surprise that he wants the bells turned off because they bother him, but everybody else in the community wanted to hear the bells. So one resident's complaint does not decide what everybody else in the community is gonna do. The Board of Selectmen had a meeting, which was properly posted, invited the resident with the concerns. He did not show up, and we deliberated and made a decision.
Yep. It's also accused that Selectman Veliz runs the Warren Parks Department Facebook page, which isn't true, right?
I don't run that page.
Yeah, he doesn't run that page. And then I was accused because I never asked any questions about who the residents were or what they said about turning on the bells. Sorry, I mean, if you talk to residents and you come back with that info,
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I'm not gonna grill you about who they were.
And then in the open
know.
meeting law complaint, well, he actually did a FOIA request, and I did provide all that information, snapshots of Facebook to him of the residents that were, wanted the bells on. So he did get that information in a FOIA request. Whether he agrees with the residents or not, that's up to him and the residents.
Yeah, he claims that we're using Facebook to communicate with each other, and I didn't see that, so.
No, there's no deliberation going on Facebook. So.
No, I mean, if there was, you would clearly see David post something, I would respond, say something,
Yeah, I
Derek
agree to
would
that.
respond.
Yeah, let's do that.
I
And then
mean, it
Derek
would-
chime in. No, that would be an open meeting law violation. We don't do that, and we strictly do not do any of that stuff.
It'd be pretty obvious.
But we are allowed to talk to the public, to
Yeah.
our residents. And if the residents have feedback for us and they choose to use social media because they're more comfortable with that, we will utilize that. I'm happy that residents are engaging with us to see what they would like. And as long as it works, we'll continue to use it.
And then his other. I don't know, Derek, is the town seal on the neighborhood watch page?
So I think Mr. Peter,
It's not on the
probably
report.
it's confused. Because the town has a Facebook, page.
Right.
Where there's no discussions. The only thing on that page which it has the seal is information going out to the public. There's no
Right.
discussions, there's nothing, there's no comment.
Read only.
And it is a town Facebook page.
And it's run by Travis, who is upstairs recording, and myself, and we really don't have any interaction, just then posting the information there.
And the town seal is on there because it is a representation of the town. It is the town's page.
It's official page.
It's our
Yes.
official page.
What-
So again, that's used. The Warren Neighborhood Watch does not have the town seal.
And that's not a page, that is a private group that I created many years before I became a selectman.
Right.
And that's where this thing happens. And it is just a private group and with a few comments.
So
Yeah.
there are several groups for Warren.
Yeah, there are a few.
And depending on which one you use, the Warren Neighborhood Watch one is the most frequently used one. It's the most widely used and it has the most members to that page. So that's where most people get their information from because it is the one, it's basically the go-to one. And every community in Massachusetts that I've seen so far has some variation of a town neighborhood watch page. West Brookfield has a neighborhood watch page, Ware has one, Sturbridge has it, all these communities around, and every single town utilizes it in some means, whether it's senior center posting information to get it out to the residents, the town uses it in their official business to get it out there, whether the town administrator has his own page that he puts out information for people to see. Again, none of this is a violation of open meeting law, and it's widely used and widely accepted within communities that this is a form of communication to the public. It's actually becoming so widely used that people are even concerned if they need to post things in newspapers anymore, because they utilize social media, and they want to utilize social media as notification. As long as I post it out on social media 2 weeks in advance, that meets my requirement to notify the public. But right now, we're still required to put it in a paper, which is getting more and more expensive for communities, because it's $70 for the local, but if we go into the Boston Globe or the Worcester Telegram, it's $2,000, right?
Yeah, sure.
So it's $2,000 to post a meeting. Social media, $0, and it's instantly. So as soon as you hit send, we sent our message out there to the public, and people see it. So there's debate whether that's going to happen. So although I welcome Mr. Krozak's comments, I would wish he would come to a meeting and discuss his concerns with us. If Mr. Krozak wants to just bring up the issue with the town hall bells, he's more than welcome to come in here and discuss them with us. Just get with Mrs. Dusty to put it on the agenda. And if Mr. Krozak's looking at opening up something for migrants in the community, let him come here and talk about it. Because I would invite him to bring that into our community and talk about that in here. Because it'd be an interesting discussion. So, and again, he'll probably see this meeting. And Mr. Krozak, I thank you for your information and your comments. Don't see any basis in anything. Nothing actually violates open meeting law, but you have due process if you choose. And if you want to discuss your topics, either with the bells or bringing migrants to the community, you're more than welcome to attend a meeting. So, you guys good with that?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Good with that? Do you guys have any other comments?
Nope.
Do you have any comments?
No, sir.
Mr. Farrar?
No, sir.
Does anybody from the public have any questions? No? Anybody on Facebook? Or not
Zoom.
Facebook, Zoom?
Nope.
All right, moving on. And Mr. Farrar, if you can pass on our official response back to Mr.
Sure.
Krozak
Yes, I will.
on the open meeting law violation? Are you good with Mr. Farrar authorizing that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Responding back?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So new business. Anybody have any new business?
No, sir.
I don't.
No? Correspondence. Any correspondence?
You left out old business.
Oh, old business. Anybody have any old business? I'm sorry.
I do not.
No, sir.
No. Correspondence. No
Mm,
correspondence?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Comments and concerns. Anybody have any comments and concerns?
I don't.
No?
No.
Such a problem. You don't have no comments.
I'll come up with some for next time.
Come up with something.
I have a comment.
You do?
Yeah.
All right.
For the 13th.
Oh.
Once I'm done being a selectman, all I have my will is to join your team.
Very good. You have many years left in you of being a selectman.
Yeah, don't look for him.
Don't,
anytime
yeah, don't
soon.
be,
Don't be shy.
don't be putting his name on any vests anytime soon.
That's tonight.
I really want to join the 13th.
Mr. Farrar, you have any comments or concerns?
No, sir.
No. Anybody from the public, comments or concerns? Mr. Condrat?
Joe Conrad. Well, I've already thanked the fire chief. I'd like to thank the Warren ambulance crew who were at my house last night. They're extremely efficient. They were there within a minute of me hanging up from the dispatcher. And my wife is doing well.
Very good.
And in case somebody complains that the police department was not there, the police officer on duty was on the traffic stop at that moment. But he offered, if he was needed, he would be there.
Very good. Yeah, those guys are always busy. Yeah. But I hope your wife feels better and, prayers go out to her.
She does.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Anybody else have any comments or concerns? You sure? Dan?
Well, I can. Yeah. I did a stop by today for an update on 24 North Street.
Okay.
And
So,
24.
with that one, because it's past business, we'd have to put you on the agenda for an update
Okay.
Yeah.
on that. You're not bringing up a new comment or a concern with the community, you're bringing up town business.
Okay.
So we would have to have you on the agenda for that one. Would you like to be on the agenda for next week?
Yeah.
Okay, can you put him on the agenda, please?
Mhm.
Do you have anything else, sir?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Where I live on Town Farm Road, 222, I live on a slope, a hill. At the end of my driveway comes down in a pitch and cuts down into the main road. I have a constant now, I think it's an underground spring that has come to light, that runs right off of my property, across the bottom of the driveway and down into the road. I'm thinking of having a company come in this spring to look and see where that water flow is coming, if it's indeed a spring. I gotta divert that somehow where it's not coming across, because it's turning everything to ice in the wintertime.
Yep.
So.
You
I
would
don't-
have to find another place to divert it to on your property though,
Yeah,
because you can't dump it out to the road.
yeah, I know that. So.
And you get the highway guy here too, so
Yeah, but the
you
problem-
might have to talk to him on that
The
part.
problem here is where it's right at the bottom of my driveway where it comes into the.
So it only can go down, which is not on your property then, right?
Yeah, right, it'll run right down, runs right across the bottom of my driveway, into the roadway and down the roadway.
Turn it into a pond.
That's in the
Put-
roadway.
Put a koi pond there.
That's in the
I
roadway.
don't know, yeah, that's a tough one.
I guess get-
I don't know if it's an actual spring or if it's just because the ground is so saturated.
We
I'm
have a
hoping
lot of
it's just-
water right
it's-
now.
I'm just hoping it's because it's all saturated, but it's a constant flow right now. It's almost like a brook coming out of there.
I guess get together with highway, right? I mean, would you be able to look at it?
It's your private property, right?
Yeah, it's coming off of my property, almost at the, my lot line with the next door property.
Now, is it
It's actually
going onto
coming
their
right through-
property?
It's coming right through the woods.
Yeah, but is it going onto their property?
No.
It's going into the road.
There's drainage up that whole side of the road, but it's
You
so
know,
much
originally
water
thought it
there.
was,
Yeah.
I originally thought it was him dumping, had a pump coming out of his house and sucked it into the woods and it's coming down. When I traced it back, there's no pipeline, there's no hose or nothing. It's actually coming from the ground.
What's your address?
222 Town Farm Road.
Yeah. And that's the problem, right? It's why we have such issue with like solar and stuff, because we know there's a very high water table up there, and we have a solar project that went up there and they put in and they opened up a bunch of springs as they dug and moved stuff around. And once you open them up, you can't close it back off.
Yeah, that's my problem right now, where it wasn't there last year,
Yeah.
now it's there.
But you didn't do anything to cause it.
No. I would
It's just
change that.
naturally occurring. It just said, okay, we're coming up here.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
at some point, well, it's already past that point now where it's tearing up my pavement in my driveway. So I have to do something to kind of correct it.
Yeah, because if you're getting into the roadway, you're gonna have to talk to Jeremy now.
Yeah.
so.
Why
But there's
do?
nothing you can do. It's like, it's gonna come
Comes
up.
from everywhere.
It's not like you can just turn around and throw a big rock there and say, okay, cap it.
I was thinking, big rock.
No, well, I was
A
thinking-
really big rock.
What I was thinking of was putting having a landscape company come in this spring, because I got, my electric up there is all underground,
Mhm.
so I have to have Dig Safe come in and line the property to find out what's where. Because
Can I
it's
do,
right,
do like a French drain or something?
yeah, and try and divert it that way. But I have to have someplace for the French drain to go.
I would honestly wait till spring, summer, see if it's still going. Cause it could just be groundwater perking
Yeah,
up.
that's what I'm hoping, but to me, if it's groundwater's perking up, I'm not gonna have that strong of a flow. You know, it's gonna be weeping out, it's not gonna be actually running out.
I've seen many people try to fix those by different methods, and it just gets worse.
Yeah.
Because if you cut it more,
And then once you stop messing with it,
Yeah, now you have an actual brook and a river running through.
yeah,
I would say what.
Nature
you know,
takes
Chairman
its
says,
course.
You know, wait to see what happens, you know.
Yeah.
If it's not destroying anything down the path.
Well, eventually, it's already started washing away the pavement in my driveway.
Mm.
So it's just a matter of time. If it gets through that all the way across, it's gonna impact the roadway, come where I connect to the roadway. So,
Yeah, I wish I could give you better advice on that one. But unfortunately, Mother Nature says where these
Yeah.
things happen and we have no say. We're just at the mercy sometimes, you know? But if it starts, the only source that I could think of right now is Jeremy, if it's getting too much into the road, if it's becoming a problem, icing over and stuff, maybe he's gonna have to put more salt there.
Well, the key would be to, first to get it so it doesn't cross your driveway, so it runs down one side, and then try to control it that way. And there is perforated pipe, 12-inch drainage pipe with stone all down that side of the road. Catch basins run between. So it's, I mean, there's drainage there to pick the water up. You obviously can't pipe it
right.
into our drainage, but we can direct it, so maybe we can stop the erosion of the
Yeah,
pavement.
Where I'm sitting right now, and maybe it would be a better thing to come out and look.
Yeah.
Where it's coming off, it's at the bottom of my driveway where it's going uphill.
Yeah,
So it's only got one way to go, and it's only gonna flow downhill.
yep.
So,
Nothing wrecks pavement faster than water.
yeah, I know. I know. I mean, the part of my driveway now is full.
The New England weather, freezing and,
Oh, yeah.
freezing thaw,
Yeah.
freezing thaw.
And you know how the ground's been this year, it really hasn't frozen.
Yeah,
So it's,
yeah, that's a tough one,
Mhm.
it really does.
No, that's what I'm saying, just get with Jeremy and.
Yeah, we'll take a look and see if there's something we can do.
Right.
So at least advise you in the right direction.
yeah, I
Not
don't
to
wanna
make
just
a
start
problem,
tearing
a
things
bigger
up.
problem.
Yeah, I don't wanna start tearing things up and create
Yeah.
a bigger issue.
You turn a trickle into a stream,
I
a
wish it was
river.
A lot
I
of
wish it
those,
was
a
a-
lot of those houses on that side of the road dump water and they're just leaching out of the embankments and, I mean, what we'll do is we'll open up our drainage and put new stone in around it and usually it sucks the water up pretty good for a year or two until it starts to get plugged up again. So, it's hard to maintain because there's sediment being washed into the drainage. So that plugs the drainage in. So once that stops working, then it runs across the drainage and onto the road. And unfortunately, all those driveways kind of make little dams that send water out into the road instead of into the drainage, so. But you can't stop people from building houses, so. Only can build where it's dry.
Yeah.
Or build downhill from the road. On the other side.
Unfortunately, you don't know until you actually
No.
break ground and you're like, oh,
Oops.
yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
Right. Anybody else have any comments or concerns? Anybody on Zoom have any comments or concerns?
Nope.
All right. Next meeting is February 22nd, 2024 at 6 PM. That is our regular Board of Selectmen meeting. And it is Thursday, February 22nd, 2024 at 6 PM.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
Derek Bellis, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. We are adjourned.